Good afternoon, everyone. A few years ago, I was an engineer. And one day, completely out of nowhere, I decided to apply for a job at a hedge fund. Now, here's the important part. The only reason I applied was because a friend of mine showed it to me on an online university portal. And it was one of those one-click apply jobs. No cover letter, no effort. So I thought to myself, this seems easy. Let's just click apply. There was no grand plan. There was no clear direction. Just one seemingly insignificant click. But I got the job. That job pulled me into a completely different world, one that eventually led me into business. The same business where one of my key investors was that same old boss from that job. All of that started from one seemingly insignificant click. And that's when I realized something strange. We are incredibly bad at recognizing the moments that actually matter. Because we live in a paradox. We underestimate the impact of small actions, and at the same time, we overestimate our ability to predict the outcomes. So we either dismiss the small decisions, or we overthink the big ones. But what if the small ones are the ones quietly shaping everything? There's real science behind this. Researchers call this the 3 degrees of influence, which basically means your actions don't stop with you. They spread to your friends' friends, and even to the people you have never met before. Let me make this simple. Imagine one person in your friends group who suddenly becomes super disciplined, starts working out, starts eating healthy, being consistent altogether. At first, everyone makes fun of him. Then one friend joins them. Then another starts trying just a little bit. And before you know it, your entire group is waking up early and pretending to like protein shakes. That's a ripple. Small action, unexpected reach. And most of the time, you'll never even see how far it goes. Let me show you how unpredictable this really gets from an example in my own life. One day, I got a gift. Nothing fancy, just tea. Now, most people would just drink that and move on. I decided to do something slightly weird. I tried to make kombucha in my closet. Well, in hindsight, this is not where most great businesses usually start, because there's no big plan, there was no business idea, just curiosity. Then my brother tried it, and he immediately made fun of it, which honestly was fair. So he decided to fix it, right? And somehow that turned into us experimenting together. Then that turned us into thinking, wow, this actually could be something. So we made a few bottles, then we made a few hundred. And then suddenly we had Borecha, an actual brand. And funnily enough, the same tea brand that sent that random gift box is still the one that supplies us the tea today. So somewhere out there, there's just this one nice person who likes giving gifts, who accidentally helped start a business and also helped the tea company gain a very loyal customer. And today, that same kombucha is served across 8 countries, and now over 10,000 people drink that on a daily basis. That entire journey, from a random box of tea to a global product, started in a closet, and with a slightly insulting comment from my brother. A completely insignificant moment that turned into something much bigger. Now think about it in your own life. Pick one small random moment from the past week, something that felt completely unimportant. Now ask yourself, what if this moment is your first ripple? What if you're standing at the start of something without even realizing it? This is the uncomfortable part. You're always creating ripples. You just don't get to see where they go. And not all ripples are good. Let me give you an example. In 1914, a man named Gavrilo Princip assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand. But here's what's fascinating. Earlier that day, the attempt had failed. In fact, the attackers had given up. But the Archduke's car had taken a wrong turn and stopped right in front of Gavrilo. It was one coincidence, one moment, and Gavrilo took it. That single action triggered a war involving over 30 countries and millions of deaths. A war we better know as World War I today. One wrong turn, one decision, one moment, and that ripple did not stay small. You can't always control how far your actions go, but you are responsible for starting them. So, what do? We can't predict everything. We can't control everything. But instead of trying to be perfect, we just need to be intentional. Here's a simple way to think about it. First, am I creating value or extracting it? Second, Would I want this ripple to come back to me? Third, can I undo it if I'm wrong? That's it. 3 questions before you act. Here's why this really matters. Big change doesn't come from one massive action. It comes from many small actions that align. One person acts, then a few more, and then suddenly it becomes normal. That's how culture shifts. That's how movements start. And that's how systems change. I studied at this school once, and back then it just felt like a phase of life. Classes, friends, routine, nothing that felt world-changing. But looking back now, that was a ripple too, because somehow that ripple led me here. And maybe, just maybe, this moment right now is another ripple, one that might stay with one of you, one that might lead you to take an action that feels small, insignificant, almost not worth thinking about, maybe even something slightly irrational, like applying for a job you're not qualified for, or starting something people laugh at. But I'm saying life doesn't always follow a neat plan, but something that ends up shaping something much bigger in your life. Just like that one click did for me. So the next time you say something, post something, or make a choice that affects someone else, just pause for a second and ask yourself, at what ripple am I starting? Because you don't need to change the world in one moment, but every moment you're shaping it. Thank you.